Help me to reach 2,000 subscribers. I didn't mean to raise my voice, but when my wife screamed, "My ex is coming to the housewarming. If you don't like it, go to hell," something in me snapped. The glass in my hand slipped, shattering across the tiled floor. The room fell into a silence so sharp I could hear the hum of the refrigerator behind her words. Her face, once so soft in laughter, was now hard, defensive. "It's just Sam," she said, her tone brittle. "He's an old friend. We ended things years ago. Don't make this ugly." But it was already ugly. The mention of his name was enough to reopen scars I thought had healed long ago. I swallowed the anger building in my throat. "You didn't even tell me he was invited," I said, voice shaking. "Why would you keep that from me?" She rolled her eyes. "Because I knew how you'd react. Look at you now. You're proving my point." That's how she turned every argument. My pain became proof of her justification. I didn't answer. I just crouched down, picking up the shards of glass from the floor, one by one, each piece reflecting our warped faces. When one of them sliced my palm, I barely flinched. The sting grounded me. I needed that pain. It was the only thing that felt real anymore. The night of the housewarming came too fast. The house smelled of lemon cleaner and staged perfection, candles flickering like nervous eyes. Our friends arrived with wine, laughter, and congratulations. The walls echoed with polite joy, but I felt something sour beneath it all. Every time the doorbell rang, my chest tightened. Then it happened. She opened the door and there he was, Sam. Taller than I remembered, charming in that casual, dangerous way that made people forgive his arrogance. His smile was wide, familiar. Too familiar. "Hey, stranger," she said softly, touching his arm as they hugged. I watched his hand slide a little lower than friendly etiquette allowed. My fingers gripped the wine glass tighter. "Alex, right?" he said to me, extending a hand. His tone was friendly, almost too friendly. "Heard a lot about you." "Wish I could say the same," I replied. He laughed, brushing it off, but his eyes lingered on her as if I wasn't even there. And she looked back. Not with guilt, not with shame, but with nostalgia. That look, the silent, private kind only people who once shared a bed understand, cut deeper than any words could. The party swelled with noise. Conversations, clinking glasses, fake smiles. I moved through the crowd like a ghost, watching her laugh at his jokes, watching his hand brush her back, watching my wife, forget I existed. I told myself I was overreacting. She loved me. She married me. Maybe this was just unresolved history, nothing more. But denial, I've learned, is the most seductive kind of poison. Later, when the crowd thinned, I found them in the kitchen. She was leaning against the counter, wine glass in hand, and he stood close, too close. Their voices were low, intimate. "I never thought I'd see you again," she said, her tone soft. "Guess life's full of surprises," he replied. "You still make that face when you're trying not to laugh." She laughed then. That sound, light, effortless, the sound she hadn't made with me in months. When I stepped into the doorway, they froze. "Need a refill?" I asked, my voice calm, too calm. Sam straightened, smiling. "Just catching up." "Yeah," I said. "Looks like you two have a lot to catch up on." Her eyes met mine. For a moment, guilt flickered there, but it vanished just as quickly. "Don't do this here," she whispered. I wanted to scream, but the guests were still in the living room, laughing, unaware that the foundation of our marriage was cracking just a few feet away. After everyone left, the silence was suffocating. The house felt like a stage after the play, empty, haunted by what had just happened. I sat on the couch, staring at the wine stain on the rug where someone had spilled earlier. She stood near the window, arms crossed. "Are you going to say something?" I asked. She sighed, her shoulders tense. "You embarrassed me tonight." "I embarrassed you?" My voice broke. "You brought your ex into our home and flirted with him in front of me. You're imagining things." "Don't do that," I said, standing up. "Don't gaslight me." She turned, her eyes hard. "You think everything is betrayal. Maybe the problem isn't me. It's your insecurity." That word, insecurity, hit me like a slap. I'd spent months trying to rebuild trust after her late-night work calls, after the text messages she said were just colleagues. I wanted to believe her then. I needed to. But now I saw it, the pattern, the lies hidden beneath reasonable excuses. "Did something happen between you two?" I asked quietly. Her lips parted, hesitation flickering in her eyes. That half-second of silence was louder than any confession. Then she shook her head. No. Nothing happened. I nodded slowly. Not tonight, maybe. Her eyes filled with something that looked like fear, or maybe it was regret. She didn't answer. For the next few days she was distant. Cold. She stayed late at work, avoided my gaze, left her phone face down on the table. Every detail screamed at me, but I told myself not to overthink. Love makes fools of us all. Then one night she came home late again. Her perfume hit before she even entered the room, different from the one she used to wear. I looked at her and knew. I didn't ask. I didn't need to. Instead, I walked into the kitchen, picked up her phone, and saw the message still open from earlier that day. Sam. Wish you'd stayed last night. You looked perfect in that dress. Her. I wanted to. He was home. The room spun. My hands trembled, my chest tightened until it hurt to breathe. When she entered, she froze. You went through my phone? I didn't have to, I said. It was right there. Like you wanted me to find it. Tears welled in her eyes. Alex, please. Don't, I said, my voice hollow. Don't say you're sorry. You're not. She sank onto the chair, sobbing softly. It wasn't supposed to happen. I just wanted to feel like myself again. I stared at her, trying to recognize the woman I once loved. And he made you feel that way? Her silence was my answer. A week later, the house still smelled of betrayal. She packed her bags quietly, no shouting, no dramatics. Just the slow, suffocating end of something that once felt unbreakable. Before she left, she stood by the door and whispered, I didn't mean to hurt you. I almost laughed. That's the thing about betrayal, I said. It doesn't need intention. Just choice. When the door closed behind her, the silence was absolute. But in that emptiness, I felt something unexpected, clarity. Love had blinded me for years, but betrayal opened my eyes. And though the pain was unbearable, I finally saw the truth. Some wounds don't bleed. They echo.